Like this is the Nate and Garrett Show, talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping, educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, can you see me?
You're a giant right
we
now.
Just keep it like this from now on.
Now we got a show.
Pretty good.
Now we got a show. What's up, dude?
Not much. How you doing?
Good.
God, guys. So we've had a lot of technical difficulties, and they're still happening. So not only are we sorry for not going live last week, we're sorry for being late. Just nothing's working for us, and it's really kind of crazy.
Yeah, we just keep having technical problems.
Yeah, over and over.
Skype won't play Garrett's camera onto our stream, but we got to figure it out.
It goes out. It's probably because every time we start talking about Project Bluebeam, it really happened.
Yeah, it's the government messing with us. I know.
But we're also re-banned on YouTube again. Somehow we got our second strike. I don't quite get how that works, but so we're off there for a couple of weeks.
You know, it surprises me about that because I unlisted our show as soon as we were done going.
Right?
Yeah. As soon as we were. So how could they know?
They must have the bots looking at what we're saying.
Box Bar, thanks, man. How you doing, dude?
So they must have something that scours like the text of our show, and it's got to be a bot because it happens so fast. We don't list it. I wouldn't be surprised if our channel's just flagged or something, so it's got extra special attention. But
yeah, no, it's confusing.
And we didn't even say anything about it. YouTube came out recently and basically said absolutely no vaccine misinformation. So that just means anything that's against the narrative.
Right.
But they claim they follow the FDA. And Fauci admits that he is actually against the FDA's decision on boosters. So I don't know how he's not kicked off YouTube.
Oh, is he? Did Fauci say he's against the boosters?
Absolutely. Yep. He said he thinks they made a mistake. Anthony Cumia, yeah. He said that they made a mistake by not offering more boosters, wider boosters, because the FDA voted overwhelmingly no on boosters for everybody. And voted for like high risk and over 60 or something like that.
Well, YouTube should ban Fauci then for not marching to the.
How about that?
Yeah.
Just like Twitter. Twitter made this thing where they were like, we're not going to let celebrities at all talk about this. But what they mean by that, they're not going to let celebrities talk against the narrative. Because if you say anything in favor of it, of course they let you go.
It's so weird what's going on. The strong arming tactics for this. Like, why?
Ron Paul got kicked off Facebook.
I saw that, dude. I have an article somewhere about that.
Man, if Anthony Cumia didn't get fired for that whole fiasco, he would have gotten canceled either way.
I forget what his fiasco was exactly.
He got attacked because he's a kind of a photographer, and he got attacked by Black Lady of the Night for taking pictures in Chicago in the middle of the night. And she basically thought he was taking pictures of him, and she attacked him.
Okay.
He broke his camera, and he had some colorful language.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you know what? I think because you mentioned YouTube is doing like a no tolerance policy about vaccine misinformation since they know everything over there. And Anthony Cumia talks about this really quickly. Should we play it?
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
YouTube just had a new restriction, of course. It's what they do. They love a good restriction. They will not be allowing any videos that go against the corporate line and government line as far as COVID goes and the vaccine. They will not allow you to post anything negative about the vaccine because they consider that misinformation and it's hurting the general population because you're scaring them into not getting the vaccine. The truth is they just pick and choose what they want out there. They don't want anything negative about the vaccine out there. And there's plenty of negative about the vaccine. One of which is Stephen Colbert's little stage show that he did on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. This is one of the most embarrassing things I've seen a celebrity that used to have status. When he was on...
Okay, so do you know what the clip he's going to show from the Colbert?
I do, unfortunately.
You know, I think he's making a good point as far as like, what a huge sellout Colbert is.
Hillary's not wrong on a lot of stuff. I knew that race was going to be his downfall. Because my God, he's a shock jock, so he says shocking shit.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that about him.
Yeah.
But
man, he's a smart guy otherwise.
Yeah, and he's a funny guy. But he basically rips into Colbert here, and I think it's an interesting thing. So let's just show it.
The Daily Show, he was brilliant. Colbert Report was a great kind of takeoff on right-wing news.
It was. You know, I like the Colbert.
Great.
I like the Colbert Report. It was funny.
I knew what he was doing the whole time, everything. It was still fun as fuck to watch.
Yeah, he was a funny. I used to really like Colbert for being funny, but now he's a pharmaceutical shill, you know? Like
something's weird when those guys get those late night things. Like Jimmy Kimmel went from the fucking Man Show.
Yeah.
I think if most liberals knew what the Man Show was, they'd be calling for his head right now.
They would if they watched it.
Yeah. And now he's on there crying on anything that is halfway insensitive.
Right. He's
super
one of the
woke worst fucking guys out there. Yeah.
And it's just great evidence. All the late night talk shows, late night comedy shows are just propaganda.
Fallon even. Not that he was ever super funny, but you could tell his is just laden with propaganda. But nobody more than Colbert and Crying Kimmel. There's nobody close.
I think it's good evidence for like the Illuminati control of the media.
Well, did you see? It was kind of all over Reddit that I think it was the Canadian military in general, but there's leaked stuff showing that they decided to use the fear of COVID to develop propaganda and like basically test how good propaganda works.
I saw something about that.
The comments were hilarious because there's people on Reddit going, yeah, it makes sense with all these stupid anti-vaxxers and everything. No, you idiots. They're scaring people for compliance. And they have the whole party of resist and the whole party of question everything and the whole party of down with giant pharmaceuticals basically worshiping at the seats.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots can't even see that you were the one that the propaganda was directed towards, and it worked.
Yeah. Well, let's watch some of the propaganda here.
Yeah.
No, that was clever and funny. This is one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Cringe. They're all dudes in like high heels.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Look how weird this is, dude. This is fucking weird.
Hold on, here it comes.
Let's watch the whole thing. It's awful.
Look at this sheep clapping. Then he picks up some unmasked old lady. breathes in her face.
Nobody in the crowd wearing masks at all.
None.
That came.
Like, does he think he's anything other than a hack? You know?
It's so funny. That mask hypocrisy is pretty fucking funny.
Oh, it's unavoidable. You know?
And, you know, they want the sheep to wear them. They don't want to mess with the elite. And so they have half of the liberal world, all the liberal world, so half the world, fall over themselves explaining why it's okay that kids need masks and to be behind plexiglass fucking bubbles while their ilk is gathered
Can have the
around
Oscars.
without masks and stuff.
Yeah.
But why the help still needs it? It's just crazy.
And
to
the
watch.
left sheep are happy to do that. They're happy
yeah,
to make
yeah.
huge excuses. Oh, Obama doesn't have to. He's really cool.
Well, how about the mayor of San Francisco? She got caught with it, and her basically was like, I got caught up in the spirit. We don't need fun police. I got caught up in the spirit.
You chose to be the fun police, lady.
And how many of these people are like, well, it's my birthday? Well, no shit. That's what this whole argument's about, is that everyone has birthdays and dying relatives and everything, unfortunately.
Right.
But why are you guys exempt to this? And the answer is none of them actually believe it. Not a single one.
No. If they believed it, they'd be wearing hazmat suits.
Yeah, they would not let anyone near them. They'd be doing what Howard Stern's doing, living in his basement and being away from everybody. They would be doing what he's doing.
Yep. What a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah.
Well, it's disgusting. And this is just hard to watch how pathetic that is by Colbert.
That's terrible.
Oh, you mentioned kids wearing masks.
Yes.
We ought to show that teachers singing to those kids.
It goes well with the vaccine song, like craziness song.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing is all these songs that are coming out about. We have people making like Fauci songs and Pfizer songs and shit. There you go.
Oh, it keeps my friends safe. And let me see a hooray.
Hang on, here we go.
I wear a mask to school. Hi ho the Dario. I wear a mask to school.
These
it
poor
helps
fucking
to
kids.
keep me safe. It helps to
This
keep
just looks like
me
a
safe.
nightmare to me.
Hi ho the Dario. It helps to keep me safe.
There is
It
no
keeps
way these masks do anything with these kids.
No, it doesn't help to keep
They're
them
just
safe.
a-
She's
you know,
lying
they're-
to them there.
Just like Fauci said initially, you're going to touch your face more, you're going to be adjusting your mask, it's not going to be fitted well, it won't be... All of that applies to the kids. Way more. Way more.
Yeah. This is sad. You know, we got these little kids, and then you got Hollywood having the Emmys party, and you got Obama having a birthday party. But these little kids can't have one without their masks.
And once again, Reddit and the liberals are betting all over, trying to be like, wow, this is going to be good for the kids because it's going to teach them to care about others. And kids are resilient. Anyone that tells you kids are resilient is fucking retarded. And
Yeah,
ignorant.
no shit.
Because
Yeah,
that's the
go
exact
ahead,
opposite.
traumatize them. No,
How much trauma turns into cyclical trauma that you see generation after generation?
Yeah.
How many child rapists turned out to be raped in their past? You know, almost all of them. And you're just creating now trauma that's going to be cyclical for generations. This is going to be felt for generations to come.
Yeah, and I just think it...
Because liberals could take a picture of this and say how excited their kids are to get vaccinated, and they get some internet points for it.
Right.
So
My kid
at
loves
least there's
masks.
that.
My kid said, why don't we all wear masks so that the world can be happy?
That's the funniest thing is that those are trying to act like wearing a mask is not only not an inconvenience, it's kind of nice.
Oh, God. It's
nice
so
to do
awful.
that.
It's fucking
Men
awful.
don't smile at me. Don't tell me to smile, and I don't get hit on as much.
Yeah.
This is great. I don't get harassed.
All right, let's play the end of it, and then I
My
got to show another
friends
one.
safe. It
Her
keeps
voice
my
is
friends
fucking
safe.
god awful.
She's
Hi
insane.
ho the Dario. It keeps my friends safe. And let
This girl's looking at this
That
little
is
boy
nails
going.
on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
by the
she's
way.
going. She sucks at singing. This is awful.
me see a hooray. Put your hands up in the air.
Yeesh. Okay, but that video actually pales in comparison to this one. If you're
Oh
asking.
no.
Watch this one. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Garrett, but it goes
Probably
right along.
not.
Put
Oh, God.
No, you gotta wear it on, honey. You gotta keep it on.
Who's videotaping this?
Put your mask on. There you go. Keep it right there. Yay, Mason! Yay!
Oh my God.
Keep it on, Mason. Look, we're gonna keep it right here. Look.
This breaks my heart.
This looks like torture to me, dude.
Yeah.
Keep your mask on.
Look at waterboard him while you're
Mask
at
back on.
Yeah. Maybe masks suck ass. This kid can't lie.
I know I say this. I know it's terrible in reality that a lot of people have to put up with this, but like, this is a bad thing about sending your kids to a daycare too. You're sending a ton of kids. It's a difficult time to raise a kid. I mean, if it's your own kid and they're a year old, sometimes you start losing patience. This sucks. Can't understand if it was 12 kids that weren't yours.
Oh yeah, no
You're
shit.
not going to treat them like a parent.
That's why
would.
you gotta hope you got a good teacher in there who's not
God,
crazy.
Yeah, but it's never going to replace the one-on-one you're going to get with a parent, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's terrible. Some people could only do like 3-4 weeks off after having birth. So you're having your 1-month-old going to get raised by somebody else for 8 months a day, or 8 hours a day. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. The society's got to change with that.
Yep. But specifically about that video, dude.
Yeah.
That's like a torture video.
Yeah, they don't care that he's uncomfortable.
No, he
they're
fucking
actually annoyed. The
hates
lady's
us.
ready to punch him.
And
They're ready to scold him.
And let's say those two women teachers there, the policy at their school or whatever is you got to wear a mask. And so they are not going to stop putting that mask on his face.
And it's not.
And he's not going to stop taking it off. So there's got a 2-hour back and forth.
It's going to hurt his development. We're going to be seeing a divide between the red and the blue states, and to a certain extent, a bigger divide between like the parochial schools and the public schools because of this. You're going to have schools that don't have mask mandates and are way closer to normal. Then you're going to have some schools that are just still online, and we're going to see a huge divide between the kids developmentally.
Yeah,
there's
I agree.
people come out of the woodworks. Once
I
again,
think it's fucking up their
they're having
development.
trouble like rationalizing it, but they're basically admitting like my kid's 2 or 3 years behind. He doesn't read. He's in the 3rd grade now. And you're seeing a lot of this. People post this on the internet.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's been a year and a half or whatever,
Yeah,
It's
almost 2 years, really. I mean, this is basically the second school year now.
So
And
yeah,
there's
the
still
kids
people
falling
not going
behind makes a lot of
socializing
sense.
And not back in schools. I think there's schools still not back in people in person schooling, and they liberals act like, oh geez, you're just using school for daycare. That's all you care about. No, I want my kid to
be able to read.
To not fall behind. These are important lessons for kids.
You know what? And the thing is, every red state would just be open. Guess how many kids would die of COVID? None. Like 0.
Less in the next year than kids that will die from getting shot in Chicago tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm not even exaggerating that.
And also less than the flu. Less than will die of the flu.
The CDC says, I've said it over and over, they say that long COVID is less, because that's what people will say.
Oh, Garrett's lagging a little bit, looks like. Well, when he gets back, maybe we'll go into Australia stuff. Let me get it ready. Garrett.
Oh no, is that gone, that whole rant?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
me
now. Yeah.
Hey, but what I was saying is the argument to keep kids home from school used to be about protecting teachers and protecting grandparents. Well, the kids will go home and spread it to their grandparents and not know they have it. Well, now there's vaccines, so the teachers and the grandparents, that argument's not there. So what they'll say now is like, well, kids under 12 can't get vaccinated. So we have to have distance learning, masks, whatever. And then you point out that it's not dangerous to kids. And they'll say, well, they won't die, but the Delta variant, now we don't know what long COVID will bring. We don't know what the long-term effects of COVID are. But the CDC itself, because we do know this, it's been here for 2 years. The flu's been here obviously way, way longer. CDC itself says that long flu, which you never heard of before this, is way worse for kids than long COVID. Flu has longer lasting effects on kids than COVID does.
Okay.
The CDC knows this, they admit it, but it's conveniently forgotten by the COVID cult.
Yep.
Because they want these kids to be at home, they want them to be distanced, they want them to be masked. For whatever reason.
For insane reasons, to push their own ideology. That's the weird reason. Because it doesn't help the kids. It fucking hurts the kids.
Yep. I really think this is still I got you to Trump. Trump said this was like the flu. What do you want? And kids, it is. It's less than the flu.
It's less than the flu. Flu's worse, yeah. All right, let me read Boxbar's statement here. Maybe they can write a sing-along about how lucky they are to wear a mask and not have adrenochrome extracted from them. I know the Dario is sick. Oh, God.
You think there is anything with that adrenochrome?
I don't know. I can't fucking decide.
You know what fucked that up? And Alice Jones called it, but Cuban fake. That kind of...
Yeah.
That and like the
audits.
Yeah. It's always like the audits are coming up. Don't worry, the audits. Biden's really not in the White House. He's in a set somewhere. And the audits. Trump's going to come down with John Kennedy Jr. coming on a helicopter.
God, how great would that be?
But there's supposedly a breaking case right now where there's a guy in Missouri, and I meant to try to get all this for the show today, but it just happened. But a guy in Missouri goes and kidnaps these people, and he has them in cages and shit, naked in cages, and he's cooking them, and he's got customers that he sends this human food to. And supposedly he just got caught like today.
And people
you hear weird shit like that. There's just enough where you're thinking maybe there's something to this.
What are some other people doing? Maybe
businesses in my state is DZ. Where are you from again? We forgot. Because I know some red states, there's nothing on this.
I love being in a red state. I say every show basically. We have
what percent of people
no
think
COVID
wear
around.
masks where you're at?
Even though they have the require mask sign on the front door, people will start.
We had some friends.
It's so ridiculous. It's hard to follow rules that everyone knows are asinine.
Yeah. But it's just so easy to
Virginia?
Easy for points just to wear a fucking mask and to hide your ugly face, if you're in a blue state.
And to pat yourself on the back as you walk around and say, boy, what a great person I must be.
She's not wearing a mask. Everybody, she's not wearing a mask.
Well, dude, should we show a little bit about Australia?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to show this video.
So first of all, I can announce that by Friday the 15th of October, every single authorised worker that is on that authorised worker list, whether they be in Melbourne or in regional Victoria, will need to have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. That is, if they want to continue working.
If there's people... Okay, so did you hear that?
So hold up real quick. I can't go. DZD say only 3% of people wear masks. I'm in a red state where it's not a requirement. I still think over 3% do. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but the vast majority don't here. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would guess 15% if you go into a Walmart or something.
But do you hear this grub say that pretty much said everyone who's working in Victoria will have to be vaccinated? And they're saying, well, it's not mandating it because you don't have to work.
Yeah, that's the way around calling it a mandate.
Yeah.
Knowing that atrocious $3.5 trillion bill or whatever Biden's trying to get passed, which is hilarious. They're having so much trouble doing it. Something in there basically says that if you have over 100 employees, you as the business owner have to make sure they're vaccinated, or at your expense, they're taking tests like every week. And for every infraction, it's like $700,000. They basically say in there, it's unacceptable, and we're going to put you out of business if you're not following this.
Unbelievable.
So even if you're like a super blue company, just the logistics of making sure everyone's vaccinated is a weird fucking thing.
Probably unfeasible.
It's going to be unconstitutional, too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, every company with over 100 people has to get. Everyone must be vaccinated. That's such a it's such a step on saying everyone must be vaccinated.
Absolutely.
You go, okay, first everyone with 100, now everyone with 20.
I think legally there's more ground to stand on with him saying everybody needs this. I think this is going to be a tough one for the courts to agree with because it's really putting private businesses in a really weird spot there. And it's not only just 100 people. You can say, that's still small businesses and stuff. But there's a lot of other, like, well, if you're in healthcare, you have to have everybody no matter how small. And if you take any federal money at all, basically they're trying to make it so everybody, of course.
Yeah, and they're losing a lot of, like you said, the hospitals, a lot of nurses and doctors are quitting.
Yeah, and Fauci went from saying, like, no, this won't be mandatory, you get your choice. And now he's basically saying, like, eventually we have to decide, now is that time where we have to put aside our personal freedoms for the greater good, which is just chilling hearing a government official say that.
Let me go on with this interview because that's kind of what this weirdo says.
People that don't want this mandatory vaccine, how do we manage this?
Well, then they won't be going to work.
Such an asshole. Okay, so one thing about that, he would have never said that 6 months ago.
No.
That was always the plan.
You would be kicked off Twitter for suggesting that.
Right. They'd call you a conspiracy theory if you said that. Yeah. And he would have said, now we wouldn't ask people not to work.
No.
People have to earn a living.
And you'll say, you'll point that out. You'll say, if you guys said this and you said that, and they'll say, well, that was before the Delta.
Oh, right. Oh, now it's too dire. Back then it wasn't so
serious. When the moo comes, there's even everything you're saying now is out the window because there's a new variant added to this.
Right. What a shocker that now I'm correct from a year ago when you called me a conspiracy theorist.
And you shut down our YouTube channel and whatever.
Right.
Very, very simple. It's very simple.
And they say it's so matter-of-factly.
I'm not taking lectures on freedom from people who will hold all of us back. Right? We want to be free. We're going to be free. We're going to be open. And the key to that is getting these vaccination numbers up and up and up.
So, look how scary that shit is. And
we've shown there's been cruises with 100% people vaccinated. And then it turns into Fauci saying that a vaccinated person is a dead end for this virus. And we had Biden say, get 2 vaccines and you won't get COVID. I guarantee you. And then you point out stuff like Israel, and Fauci says, well, of course, it's not a perfect vaccine, and most people are vaccinated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, but quit lying to us.
Yeah, then don't say it's not going to be that way when it is going to be that way.
Does that mean you don't have confidence in that 80% number anymore?
No, not at all. We just got to get as many people vaccinated.
Yeah. No, we were lying about the 80% number. That was never.
We'll have to play to kind of round off our COVID talk. We'll have to play the Fauci thing.
Okay, we will. Let me play these 2 little clips of this. This is the premier of New South Wales.
Yeah,
chick.
There's some news about her too.
Yeah, you've seen her a bunch. Okay, so watch this.
I want to be very clear. Life for the unvaccinated will be very difficult indefinitely.
God, these people are nuts. DZD. Fauci is close to saying we can't meet with families for Christmas.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
They asked him about it, and he basically said it's too early to say if we will be allowed to meet for Christmas. You know, it's not too early, and the answer is yes, I will meet for Christmas.
I'm so glad I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't
care
give
about
a
these petty
shit.
Tyrants.
Yeah. I think everyone knows now Fauci
we gotta
is
show,
bullshit.
we gotta show that Fauci.
We've got it. It applies to that, but let me finish showing this. Because this explains why she... you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go straight to that Fauci thing.
Cool.
That chick resigned. That chick resigned.
But not only that, you can play the speech, but she basically got caught taking money from Pfizer.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was going to show. Okay, I'll show. Okay,
which is kind of crazy because we're told now that Pfizer is all good.
Yeah.
You know,
okay, so this is she's like the governor of a state in Australia, basically, right? That's what that's what I think she is anyway. And she resigned, and this explains it. It's a minute.
To resign from the office of Premier. My resignation will take effect as soon as the New South Wales Liberal Party can elect a new parliamentary leader. In order to allow the new leader and government a fresh start, I'll also resign from the New South Wales Parliament once I've consulted the Electoral Commission on appropriate timing for a by-election, given the COVID restrictions. My resignation as Premier could not occur at a worse time.
She says what a bad timing it is to...
You know what she says, too? Basically saying that her whole heart is against this.
Yeah.
And that she really wants her... I love hearing that. I love it.
Should I play it
then?
then?
A little bit of...
All right, I'll play it.
Just the fact of this is an evil person that got caught doing evil stuff, and she's having some comeuppance, and she even admits here that this isn't good.
Yeah.
Nation as Premier could not occur at a worse time, but the timing is completely outside of my control, as the ICAC has chosen to take this action during the most challenging weeks of the most challenging times in the state's history. That is the ICAC's prerogative. Resigning at this time is against every instinct in my being and something which I do not want to do.
Businesses should be open.
Okay, now this guy explains...
I love that.
Yeah, so do I. This guy kind of explains why she...
And the government's using this as an excuse to destroy them. And they know that.
Do you think that the Premier of New South Wales wants to destroy business?
I do.
Why would she do that?
Because
it's her economy.
Because she, as I tried to explain to you, that she's being directed by a lobbyist in Sydney who's being paid by AstraZeneca and by Pfizer tens of millions of dollars to get these policies through to make sure the vaccine is pushed. That's why. You asked the question, I gave you the answer. And that's my personal knowledge. And I'm happy to make a statement here to police or to anyone.
It's all stupid because she did get caught, by the way.
Yeah.
The COVID cult says, well, this is before COVID. It doesn't change it. It's still the same companies that are obviously evil that now we're being told are saviors and would not do anything to hurt us.
And she's basically being paid to push through these vaccine policies.
That has been super corrupt, selling out her countrymen and selling her soul. It is so funny. It's like, well, this is her economy. She's not in any danger of not eating tomorrow. She's getting millions of dollars. She doesn't give a shit about her economy.
Right.
And in fact, it's about power, because as this economy fails, more of these people are going to be reliant on her instead of give her more funds, instead of give her more power. What a stupid fucking statement that guy made.
Right.
Stupid statement.
Like she cares about Victoria's economy.
They don't care. The COVID call's not going to care when she says, sorry, all these businesses are closed, but it's not my fault. It's Trump's fault. And they're going to say, yeah, she's right. God, she's right. At least they're giving us bread.
Yeah, blame Trump. Okay, so should I play this Fauci interview?
Yeah, you play this evil fuck too. Why not?
The virus started. Include the botch testing at the beginning, no research on...
Go a little bit forward, baby.
...primary care, the J&J pause...
Just like 10 seconds before.
Collins told
ultimately decided.
Oh, before or after?
Your specialty is medicine and public health. Mine is constitutional law. I've taught it and practiced it for 25 years. And what they are doing is going outside of their lane when they inject the equity discussion into a scientific discussion. That leads me to my next question. This is difficult for me, but I want to run down for your benefit. The controversy since the virus started include the botch testing at the beginning, no research on masks for children in primary care, the J&J pause, the controversy over the use or non-use of ivermectin, and there was no study yet completed. Dr. Collins told me it's not done yet. The no discussion of natural immunity, which exists and ought to be out there. The discussion of herd immunity, which is switched back and forth. The mask discussion at the beginning, don't wear masks, the noble lie, and then wear masks. Now, equity issues in the FDA panel scientific discussion. I've lost confidence in the CDC and the FDA. And I actually believe a lot of America,
for sure,
a significant part of America, now have lost confidence in you, Dr. Fauci. Is there a point where you will say, I do more harm than good because people don't listen to me anymore, and step aside?
No. That's a good question.
That's great. He breaks down a lot of issues.
He's totally right.
Last show. Yeah. For the last people, you're never going to get 100%. But if you want to get some of the people that are on the fence, you've got to admit that you've made a ton of lies, not even mistakes, lies, and we're done lying. And this was the cause of our lie, and I'm stepping aside, and we're bringing in some truth tellers. That's the only way you're getting more people at this point.
That's the same point Rand Paul made too.
They've done the people that were going to line up no matter what. The media ran with the whole like vaccine envy, so they got the people that thought like, well, God, if everyone else gets it, I want it really bad. They've gotten all those groups. The last group they haven't gotten are the people that are analytical about this, but goes, hey, wait a minute. They're lying to me. I need them to stop lying to me before I can make up my mind.
Yeah.
And then that's probably it. I don't think they've done scare. They've used the whip. They used the carrot. I think that's the last group of people they can get. And they won't do it because they're all power-hungry tyrants.
Yeah.
What's he say to this?
Yeah, let's let him answer. Okay.
No. Absolutely, unequivocally no, Hugh. Sorry. I mean, I agree with a lot of the things that you've been saying. You come from a different perspective than I do. But I think the thing that gets lost in the discussion and that people need to understand, and I do know that
is that I am science.
Even if they, smart people who evaluate it in their own context, is that we have been dealing with an evolving situation.
Ever-changing virus.
Yeah, which is that's why we're wrong every time. That's why whoops. We're super experts, so we can constantly be wrong.
Lying. I mean, flat out lying to you. Yeah, that was a good question, though.
Yeah,
that's about the only real good question I'm seeing him being asked.
Yeah,
I think it goes like what DZD's saying.
Resign?
I think it does kind of show that people are starting to not trust this gremlin.
Yep. Well, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
35 minutes.
Yeah. Do we do Blue Beam? Do we just get into it since we haven't talked about it?
Yeah. You kind of become
do we get into the Let's Go Brandon? I think we're only got time for one of the two.
Well, let's show Let's Go Brandon then, because it's short.
Well, as we've shown before, I think this is important. I don't think it's just funny. All over sports worlds now, it's even kind of blown up elsewhere. Student sections and basically fans are starting to scream, fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah.
We're even seeing it. We saw like that interview with Biden where they asked him about, it was an unrelated question. And he brings up the fuck Joe Biden sign he saw when he's driving there. He's at 9/11. He's like, what would all those dead people at 9/11 think about the fuck Joe Biden sign?
That was so funny. We went over that on the show.
That's the craziest answer I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But so like it's becoming a thing now at stadiums.
Let's
where people
go,
are yelling,
Brandon.
Fuck Joe Biden. And it's funny because you go on Reddit once again, the people like post it, be like, please tell me that this is just voiced over. And be like, no, I was there. It's true. And it's so funny because lately liberals have just been pearl collectors. Like, how dare they? They are
like that.
Uncalled for.
Right.
You know what a lot of them are saying? Just keep politics out of sports. These are the people that are ready to crown the kneelers.
They're the best. They are the
heroes.
best at that, dude.
Yeah,
the left is so good at it's just like cancel culture.
They're basically saying like it's unwarranted. How dare they say fuck the sitting president and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, you pearl collectors. This is hilarious.
Dude, it's just like cancel culture. When it swings around to one of them, they go, hey, this is a below the belt. We shouldn't call people's work.
Even to a lesser extent, the whole cinema thing. Where like they're acting like those guys were heroes for following them into the bathroom. Where it's basically about what happened on January 6th. And one side, insurrectionists that need to be hanged. And the other side, they're heroes.
Right.
And they're doing the same thing. They're basically harassing election officials. But so what you're going to see here, I don't know if this lady's retarded or if she really thought.
I think she's quick on her feet.
I think she probably heard one or two people try to say, let's go, Brandon. And thought she could convince people that's what's really being said. She's like, no, I was there. I really heard it. But this has I think this is really big. We've been waiting that pendulum to swing. I think this is the start of it. And I'll continue after this.
The crowd's chanting this, you think, is a big sign of the pendulum.
I think not only that, I think it's going to speed it up. There's a lot of impressionable kids at that age that vote Democrat because kids that age vote Democrat. And now you're seeing all the cool kids at sports and stuff. It's becoming a thing to scream, fuck Joe Biden. You kind of saw this with Trump to an extent, where people are like, yeah, goddamn Trump just says stupid stuff. It would be, I can't take it anymore. You saw that happening with people that wouldn't typically be for Joe Biden, the Democrat Party. Well, now you got, I mean, by far the most liberal section of the population's college kids, if you're doing by age groups.
Yeah.
And now we have all over college campuses people saying, fuck Joe Biden. That's going to catch on.
Sway those same people the other way, you think?
And if you would go and Google fuck Joe Biden, almost nothing comes up other than like extreme right-wing stuff that nobody reads until now.
Now you see sporting events across the nation.
I think that this is going to make it take off even more. This is basically the Streisand effect in a way.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play it. Let's show the people what we're talking about here.
Let's do it.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon.
There's no way she really thinks they're saying that.
She knew what they said. See, that's why I said she's quick on her feet. She said, oh, they're saying, let's go, Brandon.
Do you think she's just disgusted that people are screaming, fuck Joe Biden? She's
I just
a
assume.
Biden supporter?
Yeah. I assume she's a Biden supporter and she's trying to cover up the fact that they're all yelling,
man, there's been some
fuck Joe Biden
about this now, too.
Have there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's play the whole thing.
You can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God, it was,
He should correct it. He should have corrected her. They're not saying let's go Brandon. They're saying fuck Joe Biden. Oh man, that's funny. But you know what would be funny is if college stadiums and sporting events around the country started chanting "Let's go Brandon."
that would be. But if you go to Google now and you start typing in it autofills the "Let's go Brandon."
Does it?
I think
let me try.
Streisand.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
They Streisand themselves here. Look at that. Yahoo News. I checked this before whatever this happened. Kind of a lot because I couldn't believe what was being talked about. And there was nothing. And now there's this. I think this is going to make it take off more.
Cool.
I think this is going to help.
Highlights it. Yeah, well, it's great.
I would not want to be the Democrat Party during the midterms this year. That's for sure. They're going to try to pin it on Cinema and Manchin, but they're probably making it better for these people. Because also, the college age, the young people, they have been born kind of as their mini adult lives during the biggest bull run in the stock market history. And I think in that $3.5 trillion bill, I mean, who knows? It's fucking this big. But I think there's something in there now about taxing unrealized gains.
Is there? They're jamming that through in this big bill?
So that's in there too. That's going to kill.
They're trying to crash the economy. People can't trade if you take their unrealized gains.
Actually, what happens then when they lose those unrealized gains?
They just lose.
The tax money too.
You know, quickly people go broke.
Yeah, and that's just going to kill it. And it kind of the cool thing now too is for these people to call themselves traders on Robinhood and doing the options trading. And I think that's going to hurt it too. I think that's going to hurt the Democrat Party a lot.
Yeah, well, they deserve it, so I hope they all lose every seat in the House and Senate.
Yeah, Vegas says they're gonna, so it makes you sleep better now.
Well, since we mentioned it, should we show the Cinema getting stacked at all these places?
People that don't know, that $3.5 trillion piece of shit bill.
You know what the bill's called?
They need every Democrat in the Senate on board. In the House, they need a certain percent too. And these are two holdouts. These are two people that aren't letting the filibuster be railroaded. In a sense, they're also saving from court packing. And so right now, they're the number one enemy of the Democrats. Oh, yeah. So that is true, right? I think I heard that's in there. In a flat 25% capital gains tax, too. So, yeah, there's a lot more taxes on there. Really, I think that they're going to not be the cool party to this. And even if they're... Jesus.
Damn, so they almost doubled the capital gains tax. That's crazy.
And so even if they don't understand they're paying more taxes and they don't connect the two, they're going to connect the end of the biggest bull run in human history, in the U.S. history.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Yeah.
And that's what it's going to do. The market's hurting right now anyway.
So there's 2 Democrat senators that are against passing this giant
Joe Manchin
ship.
and Kristen Sinema. Sinema's from Arizona, which, typically is a red state. So she wasn't put in by a bunch of progressives anyway.
So she's more middle of the road.
Her state is, at least.
Okay.
And, you're supposed to.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that they're supposed to actually represent their constituents.
It's kind of like the Cornhusker buyout when it comes to Obamacare. If you don't know, Obamacare, they tried to pass that over and over. But they didn't even need a Republican vote. They couldn't get the Democrat votes. The Democrat from Nebraska at the time basically sold out his vote. Ben Nelson. There's something in there, like, in this giant, terrible legislation, it's basically saying how they're going to pay for this. And it's up to the states, and the states are going to do this. Basically, in there it says, other than Nebraska won't have to pay for this.
Right.
And they did that just to get Nelson to vote for it.
Yeah.
And they took it out after he voted yes, by the way. They took that out.
Ha ha.
Yes.
But you know what? I'll bet he knew that. Otherwise, he's just a chump.
So,
whatever.
So he would try to go to pizza parlors and stuff. And Nebraska is obviously a hugely red state. And he would try to go to pizza parlors and stuff. And basically it ran out of them. People would, fuck you, all this.
Yeah.
And once again, the pearl collectors try to act like, look how terrible this is. No, that's where he portrayed his people. The people that voted him in are overwhelmingly against this, and they bought him out, and he crookedly voted for it. And that was the end of his career. He was done after that. So Sinema, I think this one's even worse because this is at Capitol Hill, basically, isn't it? Or is she into college? I don't know this.
I don't know actually, but here it is. Oh yeah, and one thing I wanted to say is, the bill, they're calling it the Build Back Better bill. Did you know that? So it's so fucking globalist with that Build Back Better.
So basically, make America great again. There's no difference between those two. One's more globalist, but people will say, "What? Make America great again? It's not great now, and you're harking back to a better time." Well, so it's Build Back Better.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Will you support the Build Back Better plan so that we can have justice and solutions that we need for immigration, labor, climate change?
Pass the bill! Build Back Better! Pass the bill! Build Back Better! Pass the bill! Build Back Better! Pass the bill!
She was just trying to take a shit,
They actually follow her, and this guy actually walks in too. So they actually walk into the bathroom.
I thought they were just in the bathroom.
You can find the video of them in the bathroom.
Yeah, this started in the bathroom.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, you're right.
She's leaving.
Which I don't think it's legal, but they were actually in there filming her stall.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's legal to film in a bathroom.
Probably not.
But the pearl collectors don't have issues with this.
Okay.
And they're at her house and stuff too.
Yeah, they went to her house.
Yeah.
And here she is leaving the airport. But did you see her on the airplane?
No.
Watch this, dude. I thought this was kind of fascinating. Okay, here it is.
She's got to get her fat, ugly face in the frame, of course.
How are you? Sorry, I'm Karina. I don't know if you remember me. I just want to know if you can commit, as my senator, if you can commit to passing a reconciliation that could provide a path.
I'm going to cut her off. Can you imagine this? She's on the plane and she's, hello, Senator.
She got her
can you commit?
Fat, ugly face in the frame the whole time.
Yeah, she's got her phone.
All about her.
How weird is this?
Citizenship for immigrants. We have been waiting for this for too long. I just need to know if you can commit to passing a budget reconciliation that would include immigration and citizenship for people to be protected, like me and many others. Can you commit to?
Okay, so she just goes on like this for another minute. I mean, that's basically
ignore.
Yeah. But okay, so that's all. It all looks kind of bad, right? Harassing her, don't you think?
Yeah.
But at the same time, right? But at the same time, like, kind of the example you gave of Ben Nelson. Like, I like the idea if he goes to a pizza shop in Nebraska and tell him to fuck off.
Yep.
And I've got this video of Ted Wheeler at the restaurant.
Tevis, are you comfortable? You having a good night on the town?
So this is the mayor of Portland.
You enjoying yourself? I think you need to do your job as a fucking mayor. I think you're a disgrace. I think that everybody in this fucking city thinks that you're fucking pathetic, Tevis.
Okay.
I love it.
I do too. I love it too.
And when the crying mayor from George Floyd's funeral went to a Black Lives Matter rally.
Yes, and they booed him out of there. Yep, I love that.
That was great.
Okay, and this Ted Wheeler one, funnily enough, he's not being harassed by someone on the right for being an extreme communist piece of shit, letting the city go to shit. He's being harassed by someone on the farther left who says he's not left enough.
Well, it's the same as when Nancy Pelosi supposedly had that graffiti on her house and stuff. It's the same thing. It's over like UBI. It wasn't.
She wasn't woke enough. So she's getting.
It's kind of the same thing. The Q people are getting pulled in again by the Facebook being down again today. So one of their big things was like internet and power outages.
Yeah.
And now Facebook and WhatsApp was down for a few hours. And it's the same thing. Like, well, geez, look, there's a whistleblower coming out of Facebook right now that was on 60 Minutes. This is what this is about. They're covering this up. This is censoring. Facebook, the goddamn censors are in trouble now. It's the opposite. If you go and watch her interview, she's basically not saying Facebook's bad because they're censoring a swath of the population. They're doing the opposite. They're basically saying like they're not deleting enough stuff, not censoring enough, and they allowed January 6th to happen. So she's basically calling for more.
No way. That's what the whistleblower is?
Yeah. You won't see 60 Minutes running on something
shocks me.
with somebody. You shouldn't.
It should. No, it doesn't. Now that I think about it, I thought it was the other way. I thought she was saying Facebook was censoring all this shit. I thought it was a whistleblower that I would agree with.
No, it's the opposite.
Oh God. Okay.
Nope. She's basically saying, look, they knew there was hate speech on here.
They could have censored more, and they didn't.
And this led to January 6th.
Wow.
That's the reason that 60 Minutes is running with it. They wouldn't do the opposite.
Okay. Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Do you wanna fight? Well, so what do you think? What do you think about senators being harassed by the people?
Stay out of the bathroom.
I can't decide what I think.
Stay out of the bathroom.
Stay out of the bathroom. Okay.
I'm kind of fine with it, but it is just really funny to see how when the left has got the mouthpiece of the media and everything, how now, even though it's the Democrat, but it's like public enemy number one, how now it's like a noble thing to do. Whereas January 6th, it was you were a traitor.
Right. Now it's like, come on.
Really, they're about the same thing.
Yeah. Well, January 6th is probably more peaceful.
Yeah. They stood within the guide rails and everything. So
yeah, police invited them in. I don't know. Well,
what our commander in chief had to say about it? Anything interesting?
Oh yeah. Did he have to say about it?
And it's kind of funny because it is the Democrat Party. There is a big rift in the Democrat Party over this, and it's kind of funny to see. But this is, one of the big things that liberals were trying to say is like, see, you ask them like, what are your thoughts on Joe Biden? Without saying Trump, what's your thoughts? They'll say, well, I don't really know. I don't really follow the whole of it. God, I gotta tell you, it's really nice to wake up in the morning and not wonder what the idiot said today. And they're kind of using that whole ignorance thing. Like, I'm just a normal guy.
It's not my fault Biden's up there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll say that, like, well, Biden's not like I wanted somebody like Bernie. It's not like I'm a big fan of Biden. He's just better than the other guy. And they'll kind of say, like, geez, he's more of a Republican anyway. He's not progressive enough. And then you look, and this is basically the most progressive bill ever if it passes. We've never had a spending bill anywhere near this.
Is it going to pass?
Probably not. I don't think so.
Because it's $3.5 trillion of printed money, right?
And there's a lot of tyrant shit in there, too. So it's kind of like this. Okay, here's the most progressive piece of shit tyrant bill ever. and you're trying to tell us that this guy is basically a Republican and not progressive enough.
Okay, let's see what he has to say about all this.
Mr. President, Mr. President, you're talking about how you have 48 Democratic votes right now. The other two have been pressured over the weekend by activists. Joe Manchin had people on kayaks show up to his boat to yell at him. Senator Sinema last night was chased into a restroom. Do you think that those tactics are crossing a line?
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. From the people it doesn't happen to people who have Secret Service standing around them. It's part of the process. Yes, sir.
Just really quickly, a lot of people have been trying to attack immigration.
That reminds me. You remember the London mayor when they had like another terrorist attack, when they had all those terrorist attacks, and he basically said, "Oh, it's part and parcel of living in a big city." Basically, like, "Oh, that's what you expect."
Sounds like the Chicago mayor.
Answer. Yeah, really. But it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just more horrible shit everywhere, but.
Yeah. Well, Nate, we didn't get to improve Blue. I had a feeling if we moved on, we weren't going to get to it.
Yeah, I know once we didn't do it.
And it looks like our technical difficulties are over. We're still going to be banned from YouTube, but that's fine.
We'll do Bluebeam next week.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got 4 minutes here. I just wanted to highlight this. You sent me a thing showing that TikTokers will follow Nancy Pelosi's stock purchases.
Do you know
and they're making a killing.
Do you know the bad thing about this?
What?
Is they're eventually going to be her pump to her dump. They're going to catch on to this.
Yeah, they'll help
and
her.
They're going to, because they have like 30 to 60 days. They're going to buy something and they're going to sell it 59 days later, 61 days later.
Reported.
You're going to see people jumping on it. You're going to see it flying up, and she's going to be out already.
Yeah.
This is the same thing happen with like McAfee's Twitter when he was doing the altcoin of the day type of thing. Yeah.
But still, let's just look at the facts.
Pelosi's not smart enough to be the best trader ever, but because of her insider trading, and tons of people are doing this, and it's legal apparently for congressmen and women to do this somehow. I can't believe this is legal.
Well, let me just read it. Bitcoin is up over 7,000% over the past 5 years. Look how well Bitcoin's done. It's crazy. Nancy Pelosi's portfolio is up over 10,000%.
It's like right before they will pass a big green energy bill.
Yeah, she'll go buy windmill stock.
It's not her, through her husband.
Okay.
She's doing the Feinstein thing. The Feinstein did the same thing.
Right.
He'll go and buy a ton of calls on Tesla, like millions of dollars of calls in Tesla.
Right.
They're
and then just smashing.
Goes up, and then he sells.
What a fun game it must be for them to just print money hand over fist with the stock market insider trading shit. They can.
They should all be in jail for this.
Yeah, they should. It's ridiculous, man.
And I keep pointing this out. Feinstein sold a bunch of shit the day before Trump gave that speech, basically, and the stock market collapsed. But it was okay for her, according to the liberals, because she sold biotech stock. And
biotech and that went up. Yeah.
But it didn't. Biotech went down, just not as much as everything else she sold. But because she sold some biotech that went down, she's free and clear.
Yeah, she had one stock that didn't
liberals.
hit. Yeah,
it's crazy how little they are questioning anything right now.
Well, next time we'll have to show these NBA players all saying, fuck getting the vaccine. They're too smart.
I think one of them got arrested in Hawaii, by the way.
Was a crime?
We'll save it for next show. Yeah. There'll be a little bit of
you'll have to tell me about that. I'm interested. Well, should we call it?
Yeah, let's do. You have something to play us out on?
Yeah, let's see. I know I've got something. Let's go, Brandon. Obviously, great. Oh, here we go. Let's play it out on this. So this was at like some hearing in Texas about the abortion.
You know, abortion's something we've never really covered on the show.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. All right, let's listen to this chick.
Regret my experience at the Crisis Pregnancy Center. The most traumatic part of my experience was one of those centers and how I was treated there, and I hope that they all shut down because they exist to manipulate and prey on vulnerable pregnant people. And I just wanted to acknowledge a lot of people are being left out of this conversation today because, as we know, people get pregnant and not just women. But I hear people over and over and over again say women get pregnant, but that's excluding people that should be a part of this conversation.
Did you see the
what point is she making there?
Have you seen? Yeah, no, that they're bad, but also men can get pregnant. Did you see the ACLU tweet? Did you see that?
No.
It was like Ruth Bader Ginsburg Day or something, and they censored her quote. They basically said, like, look how great Ruth Bader Ginsburg is. And she had this big quote.
About women. I did see that.
Yes.
They changed it from women to person or something.
Already isn't left.
She's not woke enough. Let's take down her statues. Let's go break her statues open.
So they're censoring her, and they're changing her quotes already.
Okay, so this chick says there's a lot of people being left out of the conversation because, as we know, not just women get pregnant. What? Who is being left out? Specifically, trans men.
Trans? Yeah.
That's it, right? It's just women, biological women who trans to men. Those are the only men getting pregnant.
When she first started talking, I thought she's going to be against, like, Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, so did I. Like, I'm not sure if she is against them or for them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's like, they shall be shut down.
But I'll tell you one thing she's for is trans men always being included if you speak about any kind of woman biological function.
That is a crazy.
So if I say women have periods, I'm accidentally excluding trans men. I should say people get periods. And I need to always make that caveat no matter what I talk about.
That's that whole AOC thing where she got stuck in the weeds with that one.
And how many trans men are there? It's got to be a small number, dude. It's like, holy shit, I got to change everything we say.
You think 1,000 out of 350 million?
I honestly don't know, but it's not very many.
No.
And this kind of shit is so weird, dude.
Yeah. You know what? They're supposed to be the party of facts and science. I'm going on a limb here, but men cannot get pregnant.
Oh, shit. You're canceled
pregnant.
now.
You are not a man.
Garrett, I'm canceling you after you said that.
The party of facts over feelings.
I know. What a joke, dude. And just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Men can get pregnant. It's 2021. It's like, okay. Calm down.
Keep gaslighting everybody.
Yeah. You people live in a weird
deep down,
world.
nobody really believes you.
Yep.
And you don't even believe it.
And women can impregnate. A woman can impregnate a man. And that's what I have to say today. And no one can argue with that. And if anyone does argue with that, it's hate speech and they should be canceled. Welcome to the future.
Yep.
Well, it was a fun show.
Yep. TZD. Fox, it's nice seeing you guys.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Sorry about that show we missed. Everything goes good. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for hanging out. We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens.